What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Sporgo. In line with the past video that I did featuring Keo doing a change-up kit for him where you unlock his EX core, giving all of your team members on the team extra critical rate by 17% for 15 seconds, I thought we would incorporate him on a team using Pi and Cosme to see which one of these sports is actually going to be better with Keo featuring Keo's arch rival Iori. I thought this would be a fun little comparison, especially because in the past I actually did a similar comparison between Pi, Chizuru, and Cosme with Lady Guinness. However, with Iori here, you might find a little bit difference in damage. Now, when it comes to the builds that I'm using on this character, obviously I'm using Iori's leadership because it's a really great leadership for him, and I'm using this set right here. Now, this set is important because it does increase your burn damage for an attack type fighter and the critical rate by 12%, right? Which is pretty damn nice. And something I want you guys to note is that whenever you look at his stat details, you'll notice that his critical rate is sitting at 28%. Now he's going to get an extra 12% from that set, which means he's going to be up to 40% critical rate, which is not maxed critical rate. I want you to keep that in mind in this comparison, especially because of Cosme's core passive, right? Because she does add an extra 8% critical rate from her core passive, right? Which kind of leads into the heart of this video. Whenever I did the past comparison, Lady Guinness, Cosme was actually a better support compared to Pi. Now, Pi, both of these characters, Pi and Cosme, give an increased target damage received by 100%. But one difference between them is Pi will actually increase the attack speed of all teammates by 2%. This is actually really, really good for a character like Iori. Chill will be applied after Pi uses her skills, so he will get this extra 2% attack speed, especially considering he's a character with concentration. Whereas a character like Lady Guinness doesn't have concentration. The attack speed might make a difference, but I don't think it's going to make as much of a difference on a character with concentration, right? Another thing about Pi is she does have chill and shock built into her kit. Now, Cosme here, you know, just like I said a second ago, her critical rate buff is really, really nice because, you know, you're going to get an extra 8% critical rate and critical damage by 12%, or actually up to 48%. So you're getting an extra 48% critical damage by using Cosme versus using Pai Chen and that extra critical rate. And that is nice. Both these characters give the increased target damage received by 100%. Both of them do that. However, Pi will actually increase red element fighter attack by 300% from her first skill, whereas Cosme, it's only 100% attack when you're tagging out a character, right? So it's 200% less attack, but you got more critical rate and critical damage, which makes a big difference, especially on these newer characters, even like Iori, right? And that is something else to keep in mind. Pi also only uses chill. Now I'm going to be using Lady Ashiro as a striker for both Pi and Pai Chen to apply shock. That way we can break the meter about the same time in both these runs. I'm trying to do identical runs with both of them to try to make this comparison as fair as I can. Both these support characters, guys, are amazing. Either one that you would have would be amazing. Cosme obviously is going to be really the better one because her support passives apply to every character in the game, whereas Pai Chen's is only for red, yellow, and green fighters. That's where she really applies those huge buffs, right? But both of them have the increased target damage received by 100%. You should always keep that in mind, right? And then of course we're going to be using Keo, and just like I said with Keo, he actually will give an increased critical rate by 17% to all team members. So with Cosme on the team, right, we're gonna have 40% critical rate, right? I believe, was it 40% critical rate? I think I kind of forgot, right? I think it's 40% critical rate, right? Again, Iori, he's going to have, let me look at his stat details here. He's going to have 28%, he's going to have 12% for the card set. So that's going to be up to 40%. He's going to be up to 48% with Cosme. And then with the other 17% from Keo, that's going to put him up to 65% critical rate. 65% critical rate versus whenever you're going to be using Pai Chen, you're going to have 8% critical rate less than that because you're not getting the critical rate from Cosme's core, right? So I mean 65% minus 8 is 57% critical rate instead. And does that really make a huge difference, right? Does it make a huge difference? Now I'm going to be using Kusanagi also for the decreased defenses by 30%. So let's pull up the run and take a look at this, guys. All right, so on the left you guys can see that we're going to be using Cosme. On the right we're going to be using Pai Chen, and I'm going to be doing the exact same, you know, rotation, or try to play them exactly the same way as I can. Again, guys, there's always variables in these runs. There's always a lot of variables. I had the exact same card sets on both Cosme and Pi. I'm just using the Nightmare Geese set or the City of Darkness set. They increased target damage received by 10%. Both of the girls, you know, Pi and Cosme, use all of their skills, so the chances of the City of Darkness set to proc that increased target damage received are very, very high, because you're going to be doing a lot of hits between both of these girls here. So I think that's going to be pretty even Stevens for the most part in this run, right? And yeah, I mean, there's some slight differences because the length of their 3PGs are a little bit different. And that's something else I didn't even mention about Cosme, is that her 3PG does offer some really, really nice support passives for the team. Like, and Pai Chin, her 3PG actually is only beneficial for her, right? It's not beneficial for the whole team, whereas Cosme's actually is. It is actually beneficial for the entire team. It makes a big difference with the decreased defenses and the critical damage buff that she offers. So she's giving a lot of extra, like it's going to be like 58% extra critical damage, 8% extra critical rate, right? Whereas Pai Chin isn't going to be offering that, but she's going to give an extra 200% more attack than Cosme, right? And I think, you know, that's really the difference here, right? We're also getting extra attack speed with Pi, right? And I think that's another thing that's making a big, big difference, because again, characters with concentration, the more attack speed you have, which is why using a Shermie Option card on is so good, the better, the faster they're going to run through their skills. They're going to do a whole lot more hits, which means a whole lot more damage. They just do a whole lot better. Characters like Mai, Kula, Iori, they all just do so much better when you have a lot more attack speed. And I do believe that is really kind of what's making the difference, right? I mean, that, and of course the combination of other things, but you guys can see that the damage is fairly similar between them. It's not like a massive difference between these girls, you know, it's not massive, but there is a little bit of a difference, right? There is a little bit of a difference between them, right? I mean, you can see on the left side with Cosme, you know, we're up to, you know, we're getting, you know, from 550 billion, right? And on the right, after this 3PG finishes for Pai Chin, we'll take a look at it, and we're up to, you know, 620 billion, around there, right? I mean, the damage kind of goes up pretty damn quick once we drop in Iori after those buffs. And yeah, so I mean, you can see, guys, that there is a slight difference between it, but again, there's always a bunch of variables in these runs. Now, the run with Cosme actually finished faster than the run with, the run with Pai Chin finished faster than the run with Cosme. It's easy to get tongue twisted whenever you're talking about multiple characters, right? I do that a lot. And you guys can see that, you know, we've done, you know, 850 billion on the right side. 850 billion. Well, let me go ahead and finish this 3PG. We'll go ahead and let this finish, and then we'll go ahead and pause it and take a look at the damage comparison between them, right? And how much did we do? Here we go. So I mean, we're over 700 billion with Cosme, and we're over 850 billion with Pai Chin. So obviously in this team composition, Pi is actually the better support for Iori. And again, guys, I really think that it's going to depend on, you know, what kind of EX core or EX skill your damage dealer has, whether it's going to be concentration or whether it's going to be, you know, limitless. Because again, with Lady Ginetz, Cosme was actually a better support for her. But in this team composition, it looks like Pai Chin is actually the better support. So I just wanted to give a little food for thought, guys, as far as, you know, maybe your team compositions, you know, whenever you're setting your teams, not that it really matters because you only need 1.25 billion in this game mode, but I digress. If you are trying to do the best you can, play with your teams, play with your supports, see what actually is going to give you the best damage, because, you know, I'll make a video about something and it looks like one character might be better than the other, but then I make a video like this where it's vice versa, right? It's the opposite of what I said before, because it really just depends on the character that you're using as a damage dealer, and of course the other characters that are adding extra supports. But I thought it'd be fun to throw in Kyo in there, you know, especially after unlocking his EX core, giving that extra critical rate by 17%. Not going to be the best support by any means, guys, obviously. If I was using Shizuru, using her leadership and using her core passes and so on, it would be a whole lot better for Iori, but still, it's fun to bring in some of these old characters and, you know, try to do a run with them. So guys, let me know what you think about the video, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. TT+7 time, the link is in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.